Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Lindsay, the Housewife Historian, and today we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives. We're going to be starting with Salt Lake City. There's a lot going on in the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City right now. I want to share with you guys a little bit of tea about Mary. There's always something about Mary and Lisa Barlow, and who allegedly started the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. The ladies are fighting about it, and there has been a producer, an article that was posted by Mary. She's posting receipts on Twitter, and I'm going to read you guys basically what the producer said about who started the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and it's not Lisa Barlow. Lisa commented on the post, and she, I think, has retracted what she said because allegedly producers for Salt Lake City are a little frustrated with her because she said she's not a liar. This needs to be corrected. And she said that it was actually her friend Cameron who introduced Mary to the group. And if you guys remember Cameron, if you don't, then you guys should definitely go back and watch. But Cameron was a friend of Mary's, but also a friend of Lisa's. And he attended Mary's church. I think his family attended there. And he ended up sadly passing away, I think before the season even ended up airing. That was the season that Mary did not come to the reunion. And there were a lot of allegations about her church that year. Anyways, we're going to get into that. But before we do, guys, make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, put your notifications on. It's super important that you put your notifications on because I run my tea through my YouTube channel first and foremost. Hold on one second. I'm going to put this up here for you. And so I run all of my stuff through my YouTube channel first. So it's important that you guys have like your alerts on and put all of your notifications on for YouTube so that you guys get to it first. So let's start with, let me give a shout out to my friend over at NYC Gal Out. I love her. She has me on every Thursday. We talk, usually we review the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but with everything being so, crazy in Salt Lake City, we've been talking Salt Lake City. If you guys don't remember, a couple of episodes lives ago, I gave you guys Jen Shaw's address. Well, my friend Lisa from NYC Gal Out, that's her podcast, go check it out. She actually made contact with Jen, and she's done a lot of legwork to get to the bottom of everything that sort of transpired with the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and Monica. But one of the things I want to touch base on was one of her sources. She has lots of sources. She has a source at the network. She has another source very close to production and to the ladies on Salt Lake City. They had alleged that Lisa Barlow and Meredith had allegedly been the two women that came together and wanted to start a show about successful entrepreneurs, women in Salt Lake City. Now, guys, pay attention to this part because this part, if you've been watching from the beginning, then you will remember that in the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Heather and Lisa Barlow did not get along at first. And allegedly it was because Lisa had referred to Heather as a good time gal and she knew her from college. That really wasn't the case. The reason they weren't getting along was allegedly because Heather had brought Whitney in, right? So Meredith and Lisa get together. They want to do a show about women entrepreneurs in Salt Lake City. They invite Heather because Heather owns a beauty lab, and Heather invites Whitney. And Lisa is not happy about that because Lisa feels like the show was her baby, and allegedly Whitney was not a entrepreneur, which is a news to us because if you guys don't remember, she came on the show with her beauty line alleging she had bad skin and she wanted to be holistic, and she created this line, yada, yada, yada. So Mary was not happy about this, and she got online and she took to Twitter and she posted some receipts. And this is causing some conflict at Bravo between Lisa, this producer named Noah, and there's another producer who was allegedly there, and their name was Shannon. So let me tell you what Noah was reported as saying to the Hollywood Reporter back after the season 4 finale. He said, quote, "The idea of Real Housewives Salt Lake City originally came to Bravo through original cast member Mary Crosby. Somebody had discovered her as a great character. She was pitched, and we started to find other characters along with her. Once the development team started to dig in and meet people, they realized that it was such a hotbed of interesting, unique personalities. It wasn't planned as Housewives. After learning of Mary, the network's development team traveled to Salt Lake City to meet the women for the first time, and upon their introduction, things, the pieces began to fall into place. Quote, we kind of just fell into it. I'd been blown away by the casting tapes that I saw, and the women all of them blew me away, and they were even better in person. We met everybody for drinks at a bar, and then Shannon and I left, and the housewives all stayed. And then we heard all these stories the next day where a huge argument broke out and somebody got thrown out of the bar. They were housewives already before they were even filming. This is allegedly coming from Noah, who was a producer, one of the first people to help put Salt Lake City together. This is what Mary posted on Twitter. And then, like I said, people started tagging Lisa Barlow, and her response the first time was, "This needs to be corrected. I'm not a liar." And then the second response she gave was a little bit nicer, and she just said something along like, "That's interesting," or "I don't remember it like that." A little interesting. I also want to jump in and talk about the OC before we get lost in Beverly Hills, or I'm sorry, in Salt Lake City, because in Orange County over there, we have Alexis, who is birthday was over the weekend or last week at some point, but she has posted quite a reel of photos and video of her and Johnny J. Who's Johnny J, you might ask? Johnny J is Shannon's ex, John. Private John. Okay. The photos and the carousel show Alexis and Johnny J celebrating her birthday. He got her a hotel room. They took a lot of pictures there. It looked like they had a little bit of like a hotel party. Photos of them together, photos of them eating breakfast the next morning, and they're both in their robes. I mean, nothing. I mean, tell me that you guys just, without telling me, you know what I'm saying? It was like one of those photos, and it's a whole reel on her Instagram if you're interested. I took some screenshots. But a lot of people, the comments is where I went, and the comments were interesting because a lot of people were calling Johnny J the Slade, the new Slade 2.0. Okay, which is hilarious because, again, guys, if you've been watching The Real Housewives since the beginning, then you would know how Slade, I have a video on my TikTok. It has 1.5 million views, and it's Slade's last reunion. And he talks about it was like I don't know, was it a reunion or something? I think he came on with Gretchen, and he says, like, after Joe left the show, he chose not to come back on. And Andy Cohen was like, yeah, because you didn't have a reason to come back on. Like, Joe wasn't on the show anymore. Hello. Anyways, other people saying they felt like Johnny J had a different look to him, that he seemed more relaxed, that he seemed more stressed, that he seemed like he looked happier actually with Alexis, which is crazy. Again, I couldn't believe the comments that people were saying that. Other people pretty much, again, calling him Slade, saying they can't believe that Alexis would do this. And then a lot of people coming through and saying, look, guys, Alexis and Shannon weren't even friends. And basically reiterating what I've told you guys numerous times, and that is that Orange County is very small. The circle of people is very small. And it looks like this couple that were in the photos from The Quiet Woman on Thanksgiving, when they first originally came out that they were dating, this couple was also at her birthday party. So I just found that interesting. They must be mutual friends. I will be posting those photos for you as well. In other news, if you guys comment, if you have any questions or any subjects that you would like to discuss, we can definitely do that. We have Real Housewives of New Jersey coming in. Allegedly, we're going to be getting the new season in April. So that's earlier than we had originally anticipated, correct? We're still not getting a whole lot about New Jersey right now. From Bravo, we're not. From the ladies, of course, they're always giving us something to talk about. But from Bravo, we're not hearing a lot. They're kind of crickets, okay? But I think that would sound about right. April sounds about right to me because they were behind in filming. So I do think that April is probably right. I figure they probably want to get some new momentum going for the Real Housewives of New Jersey, just in case there's definitely going to have to be some sort of a dynamic change. If we know that Melissa and Teresa are not speaking and that Teresa gave her no time this season, then I don't know if we are going to see the same old, because how could we if Melissa and Teresa don't talk, right? If Teresa's has scenes with her daughter, scenes with Louie. Hi, Yo-Yo, I love you and I miss you. Please comment any questions about New Jersey or anything that you want to talk about. I don't think that they are going to have the same dynamic, right? Because if all we see is Melissa and Joe talking poorly about Teresa and Louie, that's going to be boring for viewers. And I think that Bravo sort of kind of maybe knows that. But you never know, okay? Because allegedly, again, the Gorgas don't have a lot of anything else to talk about. But in other news with Melissa, did you guys hear that she's opening up a new Envy? I don't know if that means that they're closing the one in Montclair. If you guys remember, she had a Envy. I'm sorry, it started out in Montclair, didn't it? And then it moved to Ridgewood, right? I think that is what happened. I miss you too. We do, Yo-Yo. We have so much to catch up about. Oh my God, guys. Like, when I tell you that, like, bad things usually happen to people in threes, like before a big blessing, mine comes in like sixes. I swear to God, things happen to me that do not happen to other people. And I've been getting like dragged the last probably month and a half of my life. Anyways, Jennifer Aiden from the Real Housewives of New Jersey is also posting. I think it was Olivia's birthday this weekend, and it looked like she took Olivia and some of her girlfriends for the weekend to celebrate, and she made a really cute video. I think she was in like Rite Aid or something with one of her children. It was super cute. So I think Jennifer is definitely ready to, I think they're all kind of ready for this season probably to air. I think that we're going to see a lot of drama between Jennifer and Danielle Cabral, even though I don't think Jennifer is going to be the culprit in any of that. I think that's going to be coming a lot from Danielle. I think that's going to confuse viewers because of the fact that Danielle was really cool with Jennifer all last season when she came in. In fact, Jennifer and Teresa kind of took Danielle under their wing, and we're going to see two different incidences with Danielle getting so upset. One instance, she like throws a glass and breaks it, and then another incident and another incident. And so, I kind of referenced the fact that last season we didn't see Danielle argue. We saw her leave the situation, take herself out of the situation, take herself, away so she didn't get upset, so she didn't yell, so she didn't cuss, so she didn't break anything. And now, after last season, everyone's saying like, you weren't not. I don't want to use the word confrontational, but I would say that she didn't address things head on. And when she did address things like with Margaret or when insults were thrown, we didn't really see her defending herself much. So we're going to be confused at the level at which she comes for Jennifer. We're going to be all kind of looking at each other like, where's this coming from? Oh, Catherine, thank you so much. She says, it always gets better. God's rejection is your protection. Absolutely. You're so right, Catherine. I always feel like before you're about to have a big blessing or a big breakthrough, the enemy comes harder than ever, right? So it is what it is. I'm just smiling and praying. I mean, somebody hit my car and drove off like 2 weeks ago at work. My furnace went out on like the coldest day of the year. I'm having issues with my bank and my line of credit and like everything that things that just don't happen to other people, I swear. I started getting psoriasis. I'm going through a divorce. It's crazy. So anyways, Melissa has been making headlines though, because allegedly, of course, everything in this is alleged. There's a lot of lawsuits. There's a lot of money owed. And now we're seeing her. We originally saw her open up an Envy shop, and it was in Montclair, which I think is next to Franklin Lakes. After she opened that, she closed that and opened up that store in Ridgewood, which I think is closer to where they live. I mean, I don't know, Montclair, Franklin Lakes. I thought that was all pretty much the same area, but regardless, she didn't tell anyone that she was closing up the other Envy. She made it seem like they were growing, like they were expanding, like she was opening another store, but that wasn't the case, right? She closed that location and opened up in a new location. And now we're seeing her make that same move again. She posted on Instagram yesterday that she's moving to a store in Long Island. I think that's weird. They're far away from Long Island. That's a long drive from where they're at. Into the city like that. That's just very strange to me. I don't know what's going on. I'm not quite sure. Maybe there's some sort of like, I don't know if there's like an incentive or something. When you move your business, you get some kind of something. I don't know, but I definitely am going to make a mental note of it because I think that it's a little weird. It's a little not like, why would you move your location every 2 or 3 years? Like, even if you're signing a 2 or 3 year lease, it seems a little strange that you would just keep moving your business. And if you live in the Long Island area and you have more than 3 years in retail, then you can apply to work at Envy. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be your dream job? Not be my dream job. They'd be like, well, you have to be a size small or medium to work here as well. So you can't be a medium. You got to be a small or a medium. Also, Teresa Giudice was celebrating Gia's birthday. We saw lots and lots of cute posts of the family, of Gia, of her boyfriend, and they were like ordering food, hanging out at home. We also, Gia's living her best life. She's gorgeous. She's in school. We saw a Bravo update. This is how you know Bravo. I think, they love the Giudices and they post a lot of things about them and we've watched them grow up. And I think that Bravo got so upset with Jen Shaw from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, not giving them a one-on-one, not sitting down with them, not letting them film all of this stuff, Coach Shaw not filming the next season. Bravo got all of that when they were dealing with Teresa and Joe Giudice, okay? They had 4 daughters. They were looking at prison sentences, and they were trying to make, I think, as much money as they probably could to get saved and put in the bank before either had to go away. And I think for a long time, Teresa Giudice has had to say yes to Bravo, and she's had to say yes to every job that needs to be done and everything that's offered to her because she needed the money. She had to pay when she came home from prison. She probably came home to nothing, and they had a huge mortgage on their mansion, and also she had huge restitution bills that she had to start paying on. Now, a lot of times, what people don't realize is that a stipulation with your probation or your parole is that your fines or your restitution is paid, okay? Because part of the idea of keeping you under a keep you reporting, keep, you in contact is because they want to make sure that you get that money paid. Okay. Trust me, they want their money. So typically you can bank on, if you are looking at a long probationary period, that if you pay your restitution off, they likely will let you off parole or APA supervision earlier than anticipated. So it would make sense that Teresa would want to work and get all of their restitution paid off. Now, we have seen her talk a little bit about Joe Giudice being deported to Italy. And if you guys remember, he was actually deported to Italy prior to the pandemic hitting. Can you imagine being deported to another country that you've never lived and having to start out after getting out of prison, and you would have nothing? You would literally have nothing because you would have been in prison, and then you were deported to another country. From there, he goes to the Bahamas. And if you guys don't know, the Bahamas, everything's priced very differently there. I want to say they have a different currency, but I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I haven't been there since I was like 18 or 19. But obviously the Bahamas, like a fourth of everyone's income comes from tourism there. So I don't know how well he's going to do, but it seems like Teresa's done a lot of, events like one-on-ones, but maybe they're being more profitable than the gigs she was getting through Bravo sometimes. And I often wonder if the tension that we see between Andy Cohen and Teresa is because of the fact that she is not a yes person anymore. She's not saying yes to every gig that Bravo offers her because she doesn't have to anymore because she's with Louis. She has a second income. We don't know what their finances are exactly like or who pays what or whatever the case may be. But you could tell Teresa was like a little frustrated that Giudice hasn't been able to really help her with the girls. And I don't know if that's because of college. I don't know if that's just because that's how she was feeling that day, as a single mom, or like picking up the slack in a situation like that. That's rough to do over and over and over and not ever get frustrated with your partner. 'Cause she's pretty much been on her own with those girls. Now, the girls, I'm sure, are making their own money at this point too, especially Gia. We know that they um have done the Sheen campaign. We've seen Gia's several different, things here and there. And I would not doubt that maybe Louis is pitching something to Netflix or Hulu, some sort of like family series. We heard a lot of people talking, like they were the Kardashians with the 4 daughters and the married families being, together. So I don't know what we'll see from Teresa and Louis. To come. But a lot of people are talking like New Jersey is going to be revamped. Like they're going to be on I don't want to say like a permanent pause or anything, like a restart or anything like that. But I think that we're going to be seeing some changes next season. I just the feeling that I get. I don't know yet, but those are just my feelings. Personally, I do hear other people and other sources saying sort of the same thing, that they feel like this will be the last season of this dynamic. I think that, in my opinion, Bravo wanted to suck every single dollar that they could out of Teresa and Joe Gorga's family relationship. Um, and so they were like, we're going to give it one more year. But I think after this, we're going to see something. I think they're going to literally have to like take the show down, make the revamps, and bring it back up, because they've tried to bring in so many different women and it just doesn't work. If you guys don't know, they tried to bring 3 different new women in this season. Okay. One of them was the Sports Illustrated model who was gorgeous. Her husband's gorgeous. Her children are gorgeous. They look very rich. But there wasn't a lot of hype around it. The second girl, I think her name was Brittany. She was married to New Money, if you will. I think that he was like a weightlifter or a fitness guru type, and they had come up with this company. It was like, I want to say like pre-planned meals, but the health and the high protein, yada yada yada. That was their thing. And allegedly they were self millionaires. And nobody really picked up on that either. And so, we get Danielle, but we had Danielle last season, and there's been a lot of speculation and criticism on her charity work, and that's like not a great thing. Okay, that's not probably like the worst thing that you want criticized, is like your charitable work, because a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation about the event that she did with the Housewives. If you guys remember, it was before I think it was before the reunion even. All of the Housewives were at an event that they did for her for like a charity event. And if you remember, they were all on stage for like 45 minutes and asked a lot of questions, and they were like standing under the hot lights, and it didn't seem very prepared, and just seemed not didn't run very smoothly. And that's what we heard afterwards as well too. But there's been more allegations stemming from her and her charity work, and also the event that Louis and Danielle did together, which was a event for autistic children. There's a mother who is from New Jersey who has an autistic child, who went to Louis and Danielle and was discussing some what was she like, for some different laws and different things to pass through Congress, and she had wanted their support on one of them that would give, basically it would give it's called respite care, and it's through the state, and it is, if like, I'm not sure of like, again, all of the, how's my phone on do not disturb and I still get disturbed? I just don't understand it. I don't understand. Maybe I was not on do not disturb. Maybe I wasn't on do not disturb. Can you guys hear me? Tell me you guys can hear me. Somebody go ahead and put it in the comments that you can hear me, please. Let me Can you guys hear me? Just comment and let me know. If not, I'm just going to keep talking. Anyways, yeah, there's been a lot of speculation and a lot of criticism when it comes to Danielle and her charitable work. And oh no, you can't see me. Oh no, are you guys serious? Can somebody comment? Let me know if they can. Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure. My internet, it's like raining here, raining, sleet, and snow. The weather has been so terrible. Anyways, back to this respite care. It was basically a bill that would help provide respite services, which are basically, I think, people that are certified through the state who can come and help with if you have a child that needs 24-hour care and you are the primary caregiver, and maybe your insurance doesn't cover someone or you don't have anyone to help in situations, and they are able to bring someone in from the state who's like certified. Don't you dare put your claws in my new furniture. I don't think so. And it's called respite care, and it would basically bring somebody in from the state to help take care of the child if you had obligations. And so I'm not sure, again, I think it was a bill that would give grant money from the state to the state of New Jersey to cover respite care for parents who have children that maybe are autistic, and then the respite care nurse can go to the home, care for the child while the parent takes care of the obligations, right? Because if you're a single parent and you have a child that needs 24-hour care, that puts you in a really tough predicament. So I think the mother was very passionate about a good thing. She had a child who was autistic. I don't think that she necessarily needed the respite care, but she was just feeling very strongly about it. And it was a good thing. And she allegedly had called Danielle several times, emailed Danielle, and that Danielle was blatantly ignoring her. She went on to TikTok and did a couple of videos about her experience trying to get a hold of Danielle, and basically her not being receptive or answering. And I don't know. I think she got a hold of Louis, and I think he was able to help her. Everything's went through Congress and Senate now. I want to say that it passed. And so the mother, of course, now she's not so upset about it because it went through, but she was very frustrated with Danielle when all of this first happened last summer. So that's not a good look. We're going to see a lot of feedback on that event. And again, we're going to be seeing the feedback on her other events that she's had, that she's involved the Housewives in, and that, again, people feel skeptical about the money and the events and the prizes and the Housewives and all of it. They really say it's all of it is sketchy. For example, she had a film crew, like one that she had herself filming everything, and you can tell the ladies don't really seem to know, like they're standing on stage, and it was just a crazy event. Hold on, guys, I have to let my cat out. Cat, you want out? Huh? Go on. I know you want to go see your girlfriend, your boyfriend. Go on. My cat, she is like house trained because she started out an outside cat because she just came here, and then I let her stay, and she lived in the garage. She was happy in there, but now it's so cold. My garage is heated, but now she's in the house, and she has an orange little cat that she's hooking up with. Anyways, yeah, guys. So I think that that's what we're gonna see, and I think that's why we're gonna see Danielle just really lose her mind on Jennifer, because either they're hitting the nail on the head with some of their allegations, or she's just, I mean, that would be really terrible to be accused of, that's like some Tom Girardi, Erica Girardi type shit, right? Like, you don't take from people, especially people in need or people that you are supposed to be there to help. If you guys, I really wish I could give you more details on the event that she threw, where she had the camera crew filming it, and I don't know if she paid for some of these events out of pocket, and that was like the allegation, was that because people saw her taking money from vendors, allegedly. I don't know if that's true or not, but allegedly she had explained that she had paid the vendors herself for the event out of her own money, and that she was simply reimbursing herself, which I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not sure how all of those things work. I'm sure it's up to the individual vendor, but my assumption would be that the vendors were probably doing it for free for a good cause, but I could be completely wrong. New Jersey does things differently over there. So I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. I'm assuming that maybe Melissa is opening up a new store, as sort of a storyline as well. This season, I think she had a rough season as well, just because of like the storyline. We don't really know what we're gonna be seeing from the Gorgas. We know that Melissa just did not. Her and Teresa simply didn't talk. They didn't film together all season. So that's going to leave a huge void in the Gorga storyline, and maybe her bounce back is to open up a new Envy store, close her other one, open up a new one, and notice she's getting a little bit further away from home. Maybe she wants to have a store in a different location where she has an hour drive to work and an hour drive home, and it gets her away from Joe and the kids. I mean, her boys are older now. They're in football, sports, all that stuff. Like, maybe she doesn't want to be at home. Why else would you put your store all the way? If you're in Franklin Lakes, you're going to put a store in Long Island? Anyone? Does that make sense to anyone? Hey, Deb, how are you? That doesn't make sense to me. I think we're going to start seeing the Gorgas pulling out every thing they have left in their closet of skeletons. And ultimately, I've said before that from my observation, Melissa certainly cares a lot more about her own reputation than she does her husband's, unless if it affects her. And I don't know, one day I think we could see her throwing him all the way under the bus. Do you guys get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I could just see her throwing him all the way under the bus. I don't know. You got to watch her. But a good thing is that she has Rachel and John Fuda, who allegedly, of course, I think they're going to join in on the Teresa hate train. And I think that that's what's going to be ultimately their downfall as well as they're following Melissa and Joe Gorga's lead. And what their scenes are going to look like is the four of them talking about Teresa and Louis. And I don't think that people are going to be buying it. Even people that, support or stan or are Melissa and Joe Gorga fans, they're just not going to buy into it. I think another season watching them talk poorly about Teresa, and we know that Rachel and John Fuda simply don't have a reason to have any beef with Teresa and Louis. We know that Teresa and Louis did not reach out to his baby mom, that she was in a state institution, that she was very easily to, you can reach anyone when they're in prison. You know where they're at. They ain't moving, right? We know that Diana, an executive producer from The Sun, who actually put the article out from the baby mom, said that she reached out to Brittany directly, and that, they have different resources other people don't realize, and she was able to get a hold of her, and that's how she got the whole story to put out there. So it was not that Louis and Teresa went looking for John Fuda's ex. John Fuda's ex was watching on TV like everyone else was. And she saw what we all saw, which was people, sadly, beating somebody while they're down. Like, the woman's already in prison, and now you're going to bash her on national television? And you know what I'm saying? Like, adopt her son after all this time while she's in prison, and then talk really poorly about her on a reality television show on national TV, and think that the woman's not going to say anything, and think the woman's not going to get paid to do an interview by a major news outlet, and you're going to blame Louis for that? That's just made up to me. I'm sorry, but please find another reason. That makes no sense. The woman was, I think that it honestly, I'm going to tell you what it feels like. It feels like a lot of this is like they've set Teresa up in a way, almost like, I don't know, something seems, I don't want to say it, but hypothetically, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't trust Margaret. I don't trust Joe Gorga. I don't trust Melissa. I kind of feel like their attempt to label Louis, a bad guy, to label him abusive and all those different terms that they got from his ex, Vanessa. When that didn't stick, when the video they put out of him didn't stick, it's like then they moved on to Pizzagate, right? I mean, they took the guy for a lot of money. If we're going to say anything, if we are going to say one thing, one fact, if we had one fact to state about the situation, we could state the matter of fact that they took the man for a lot of money. Because what everyone fails to realize is that the people that Louis gave the $250,000 to for the pizza ovens was Melissa's brother-in-law or nephew, either or. They had the alleged connection to the person in China, the person on the what is the word I'm looking for? The person that would make the actual pizza ovens, like where they would buy them from. Louis put all that money up. He lost all that money, right? And then there was like another 10 grand or 25 grand, I think, that was supposed to be invested with Melissa's nephew, allegedly. And that fell through. So did they all set him up like for a lick? Like they all got a piece of him and like that was it? Because that's almost $300,000, guys. Could you imagine throwing away $300,000 to the same family, getting took on $250,000 and then getting took for another 25? Deb says yes, it was the nephew. That's what originally had gotten me into the legal issues and everything that I had to deal with when it came to me, Lisa. It was because I had posted about the family. Melissa's family, they have sort of like, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't want to say like a monopoly or anything, but in Tom's River, I think they own a couple of businesses. Like they're side by side. I want to say it's like a beauty spa next to like a restaurant / bar and grill, maybe. Because don't forget, Melissa has like 3 uncles. So like one of them started like some family businesses there in Tom's River, and one of those was the like beauty salon, and then they were putting a blowout bar in there, and that was allegedly, you know, where this 25,000 had gone from Louis to their side of the family, but it was allegedly supposed to be like an investment or something. You know, and Teresa tried to tell him and he learned the hard way, and it cost him a lot of money. So hopefully, how the heck did Joe and Melissa make themselves the victims of Pizzagate? Wow. I know it is crazy that when you think about it, because that's a lot of money. And it seems like a setup from the get because of the fact that it's Melissa's family who has the contact with the guy in China, the manufacturer. That's the word I'm looking for. I think sometimes what people have a hard time with when they're opening up a business or they want to do something, like say hypothetically me or you wanted to start a mini pizza oven, where would we find a manufacturer, right? How are we going to find a manufacturer that we can trust, that it's going to be able to do the money at cost or cheap or whatever? It's going to be yada, yada, yada. Like if you're going to help somebody put together and manufacture a large order of pizza ovens, you're going to want to know that they know what they're doing, right? You're not going to want to send $225,000 to somebody in China that you don't know, that you've never met, that you didn't fly there to see their, you know, like you need contacts, right? And so Joe Gorga pretty much went to them and was like, hey, I got it all worked out. Okay. We going to get with Melissa's family because they're family and we're family and we love family here. We love, 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 love family. So we got this all worked out. This is going to be a family deal. Teresa and Louis, we're bringing you guys in. And my thought is what is so confusing to me as well is that if Melissa's cousin or nephew had the manufacturing contact and Louis was going behind Joe's back to do this idea, don't you think that Louis would have anticipated Melissa's family telling Joe and Melissa that they had just ordered $225,000 in pizza ovens? That doesn't make any sense. And I think that Joe Gorga even says that that's how he ended up finding out. He gets a phone call or something. But it's like, that doesn't make any sense. Did Louis not know that the manufacturer, like when you introduced them, did you not introduce him as Melissa's family? Like, I'm confused. And that's just on Pizzagate. That doesn't even touch on everything else that we're confused about, right, guys? I mean, and so I just don't know. A lot of people, I think, are a little bit tired of the anti-Louis, anti-Teresa campaign. And if that's what the Gorgas and the Fudos are going to be giving us, the 4 of them, because I don't know what else they could really be giving us, I don't think people are going to be into it. All Louis did was have a photo shoot to yeah, for the skinny pizza choice. Yeah, they had a photo shoot. Well, he ordered the pizza ovens, but when he ordered the pizza ovens, he ordered them from the manufacturer, and the manufacturer was like through Melissa's family. They had the contact. So what that looks like is, instead of what a good family businessman would do would be like, here you go. Here's my contact in China, Louis. Like, if you need me to broker this, if you need me to negotiate this, if you need help, I got you. But I'm just giving you the direct number. So if you want to, you and your people can take care of it. I'm just letting you know that the guy's solid. He's legit. He's in China. Yada yada yada. Right. But instead, Melissa's family was already going to broker that deal and probably made money off of it, right? Because they ordered the pizza ovens. So if Joe's story is correct, and say Melissa's family called and was like, oh my, Louis just called and wants us to put this order through for the pizza ovens, you wouldn't even have put the order through to your manufacturer, because you would have been like, dude's like trying to, take advantage of my family over here, right? But Melissa's family put the order through. That's why they had all those pizza ovens that they gave away to charity, because the order went through and they did get their product. And let me tell you what Melissa's family member got: a finder's fee. That's what a manufacturer, like, that's what you call on the street a finder's fee. What does that mean? That means that Melissa's family member had the person in China, they brokered the deal for Louis, right? Louis says, I want $225,000 in pizza ovens. Maybe the dude can get 300 pizza ovens for 225,000, but you know what he's going to do? He's only going to get 200. And he's going to tell you that they were more expensive than they were, and then he's going to take that money off the top. So everybody, Joe Gorga, Melissa's nephew, allegedly, Melissa's brother-in-law, Melissa's family, whomever, all got a piece of Louis' money. You know what I'm saying? The guy in China, the guy that knew the manufacturer, Joe Gorga, like, everybody's eating off Louis. It's kind of crazy. It's a little crazy, guys. That's a lot of crazy. Meanwhile, again, Teresa's over here working. She's busting her butt. She worked like crazy the whole time she got out of prison, even through the time that she met Louis. And you're busting your butt. You meet a nice guy. He has, he seems well taken care of. And here comes your brother and his sketchy in-laws, all lined up with their hands out to take advantage. That's what happened. I feel like they knew Louis wanted to feel a part of the gang. He wanted to feel a part of the family. He wanted to look good on TV. We can't be mad at the guy because he wanted to look good on TV, right? Like, can we be mad about that? He was filmed under one of like the most stressful years of his life. I mean, that was a stressful. I can't blame the guy for anything last season, the season that they got married, because like they were under a lot of stress. For that to be like your first year of filming, and to be, that would definitely be difficult. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't think we're going to see as much from Louis this season as well. I think that he's going to, which I think is not a bad thing. I actually said this from the beginning, because the audience and the viewers need to be able to separate the two, right? You need to be able to love Teresa and maybe be like, Louis is not my cup of tea, but he's an all right guy, right? We don't want to feel like Louis being forced on us. And if Bravo makes us feel like they're forcing him on us, the audience is not going to like that. So whether it's Bravo having Louis take a back seat, or if it is Teresa's team saying, look, hang back, let Teresa go. Sorry, that was my look. Let Teresa go. Let her go do the events. Let her be with Jennifer. Let her be, the audience has seen her by herself as a single woman, single mother for years now. So I think just like anyone else, the audience has a hard time seeing her be with a man, because Teresa's a different person when she's with a man, right? She's very much a different person, just like we all are. That, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. We're not going to be the same woman that we are when we're around our girlfriends as we are when we're around our husbands. That's like normal for women. So I think that that's also what the audience is picking up on, is like they're seeing a different Teresa than they've seen for a long time. Because when we first met Teresa, she was very, I don't want to say submissive in a bad way, because that's not what I mean, but all of the ladies, and even Carlos King said this, that when their husbands called, those women came a running, right? And when they cooked Sunday dinner, everyone in production, the cameramen, the lighting, the producers, sat down and had Sunday dinner. Okay? Everyone. Like, that's how it used to work. Jamie said Bill is not around allegedly that much. Either is Louis. I don't blame Bill, because here's the thing. Bill's one of the only guys that has like a legit I don't even know what the word, like, he doesn't have a business. It's like a just a word of mouth concrete construction business, right? Like, he's a doctor. Putting your life in somebody's hands versus paying for a new roof is a very different thing, okay? Very, very different. So the standard to at which you may hold your contractor or your plumber or your electrician or your house flipper or your remodeler or whatever is going to be way, way, way different than how you look at your doctor, your plastic surgeon, the person who's going to put you to sleep and work on your body, okay? Your health is priceless, guys. Your health is priceless. You're not going to go to a doctor. You can't put this man on a TV show, on a reality show that purposefully can clip things together, replay a scene over and over and over, and sort of make a good person look bad. We've seen them do it before, guys. Let's not say that it doesn't happen. And unfortunately, I think that they have done that with Bill Aiden. Not that he, not in a like that he's bad. I think people love and respect Bill Aiden, Bill and Jennifer. But I think that Bravo misses the mark when they show Jennifer and Bill having a good time or drinking. And last season we saw Bill and he was intoxicated. Like, people aren't taking into consideration, or like Bravo doesn't even mention, like, the man's a doctor. How many times do we see him and Jennifer out in the week, in the month? We don't. Okay. The man probably works 10, 12, 14-hour days, 4 or 5 days a week, like every other doctor, dentist. And he doesn't go out. He doesn't have time to drink and go out to dinner and have drinks because he has surgery in the morning. He doesn't want to be hungover, yada, 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 right? Whatever the case may be, but we don't see Bill and Jennifer out together a lot. We don't see Bill out a lot. Bill works a lot, okay? That's just the case that how their family runs. That's okay. But you can't judge the man who works hard 6 months out of the year and gets shit-faced drunk once every 6 months. I can't judge the man. Yeah, you can't. Do you see the comparison? You can't let Bravo blow up Bill Aiden being so drunk at the, party, when it's like, Bill Aiden probably hasn't drank since the last, Labor Day party that the Gorgas had. Meanwhile, the Gorgas are out 3, 4 nights a week with wine glasses in their hands and drinks or whatever the case may be. So I think that Bill, as a doctor, and a doctor of his own business, has to set out a certain like standard, and his standard is too high for, like, it's just how it is. Like, Married to Medicine works for Bravo because the couple of women are doctors, they're OBs, like they're Dr. Jen, or I'm sorry, why did I say Dr. Jen? The hell, the 2 doctors, like Dr. Jackie, they have very good reputations there in Atlanta, and Bill has a great reputation in New Jersey. But I just think that Bravo could do more harm than good to Bill because he came onto the show already having something. So he has something to protect because he has something to lose. Whereas most of them come on the show and they get their houses afterwards. They don't have nothing to lose. And that's just not the case with Jennifer and Bill. They have a whole business, right? I mean, the man is a plastic surgeon. You're not going to want to see your plastics. You don't want to see Bravo trashing your plastic surgeon, making them look like they're drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not a great look. So I think that that's a very smart move on Jennifer and Bill's part, if it's their part or if it's the network's part, regardless. I think people like Bill Aiden. I think people would like to see more of Jennifer and Bill, maybe less of Bill with the men, because again, the men can be so obnoxious. It's like you have to. It's like a setup, right? Because it's like a boys' night. Come on, guys, everyone get together. Production calls Frank and says, get the men together. Let's have a boys' night. Let's get them rowdy. Let's get them drunk, you know. And then the next thing you know, Bravo's using this sort of footage that they did last year of Bill on the deck when he was drunk, right? And so that's another great example of, is Bravo over serving on purpose because I want to get some scenes, right? The same thing that Bethany has been accusing Bravo of doing. It's just funny to me because don't forget, guys, what did we see over filming? We saw a photo of a grandma and her sister Lexi with their matching haircuts, matching hair color, matching bodies, matching outfits, doing shots off their matching husband, body shots. I mean, you can't tell. Margaret and Lexi would not be out there doing body shots off Joe B if Bravo wasn't telling them to do so. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But nobody's doing body shots off that man unless somebody's telling you to, and it's the person that pays you. Just saying. One thing I did want to mention was that there is a foundation. It is a charity foundation. My computer died and I don't have my charger in front of me and I want to look it up. I'm gonna have to put it in the comments. But it is a very rare genetic disorder that it's Frank's nephew who actually has this rare genetic disorder, and he actually does like a benefit every year around St. Patrick's Day in honor of his nephew, and they sell t-shirts. And I think that it has the name of the rare disorder on the t-shirt or his nephew's name. I cannot remember which it is. But regardless, every year I've seen Frank year after year post about the benefit and have Dolores and the family, and they would post and sell the t-shirts. Well, this year, I guess the Gorgas had a charitable heart, which is like, I fall out of my chair. I mean, anyways, and they posted wearing the t-shirt saying, you know, donate to this charity. You can click here, yada, yada, yada. And people were skeptical. They're like, is this a scam? Can I trust a site that Melissa and Joe told me to go to? Like, is this a real foundation? Is this a real sickness? Is there really a victim? Like, people wanted to know all of the facts because they've seen so many scams and so much stuff around the Gorgas, scams and civil suits and lawsuits, that they're scared to donate to a good cause, to a legitimate foundation, and to a legitimate, you know, child that is suffering because of their terrible reputation. And so I did post on Twitter, you know, I just nicely commented and let people know that the foundation, the charity, the chronic illness, the child, that all of that's very real. But, you know, sadly, Joe and Melissa endorsing it is confusing to people because they've been surrounded by so much scandal. Simply just a lot of scandal. And we did have Dana Wilkie and Kim D. I think they did a live like last week or the week before. I'm not sure if you guys watched it or not. You know, I love Dana and I love and respect Kim. You know, I understand her position. It is what it is. I love and respect David Yontef as well. Give shout out to Behind the Velvet Rope. You know, he's a very hard worker. Like everyone blogging and doing this work right here, it's not easy. It takes up time. It's a lot of free time, and it's something that we enjoy. But you know, it is what it is. The real Andy BH, he did actually a really cute video on TikTok, and it was like, you're a content creator when, you know, or you're better. What did he say? It was like, you're a real Housewives content creator when you, I forget, get accused of being on a Housewives payroll. Or it was he did a funny video. It was super cute. If you guys get a chance, go check it out on TikTok. Also, like I said, the Salt Lake City tea that I got at the beginning of this video is from my friend Lisa, and you can check out her podcast. It's NYC Gal Out, and she's streaming on all major platforms. And then you guys can also check out my TikTok and Instagram, HW Historian in with the number 2. I got more content coming, guys. I haven't, like I said, I've literally been just being dragged through the mud with everything in my life right now. So I had a very rough weekend and week. And when it doesn't come in 3s for me, it comes in 6s. So I lost count, but I definitely know I got to be close to like the 6th or at least on the 7th thing that could possibly be going wrong. So hopefully my blessing's on its way. But until then, I'm going to keep you guys posted and Housewives headlines and content and what's been going on. And so we talked about Alexis at the beginning of this video and the Real Housewives of Orange County and what we can expect to see. Allegedly, Alexis coming back as a full-time housewife, what that might be like for Shannon. This is going to be rough on Shannon. Shannon quit drinking. What a year to quit drinking, right? This might be actually her biggest blessing. Sometimes God does for us what we can't do for ourselves. And in a situation, that doesn't necessarily mean that Johnny J is a bad guy or he's an alcoholic or he's any of those things. It just means in Shannon's case, he wasn't for Shannon, right? So in AA, those kind of sayings are called, they'll say, God doing for you what you couldn't do for yourself, right? How many times in life has that happened to you? It's happened to me plenty of times. It's like that hindsight 2020, right? You don't know until afterwards. And so I think with Shannon, I told you guys when it came to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills as well, when you quit drinking, you have to change people, places, and things, right? And when Kyle from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills quit drinking, and then we heard about the separation from her and Mauricio, I was one of the first people to say that when you quit drinking, and you have a spouse that still drinks heavily or partakes, you're going to have some issues because your life is changing. You're not going to enjoy the same things that you used to enjoy. You're not going to enjoy the same people that you used to enjoy because you don't drink anymore. So going around people that drink isn't going to be fun. And you're certainly not going to want your partner, the person that you spend the most time with, drunk. You're not going to want to smell and taste alcohol on them if you're trying to not drink. So I'm sure that with Shannon going to her intensive outpatient therapy and getting her counseling and getting the things that she needed, they told her the steps to quit drinking because if she's on probation, here's the thing. It doesn't matter whether she's an alcoholic or not. It doesn't matter. She's on probation. She's not allowed to consume alcohol. She's not going to be seen allowed consuming alcohol. She's not allowed to be in bars. So I'm not sure what that's going to look like for filming, but those are going to be her stipulations. And once people realize that, that puts her in really big jeopardy of people making false reports and allegations. Okay. We saw Luann from the Real Housewives of New York do probation. She didn't do a great job at it. But she finished it. Okay. But she struggled. Right. And her probation was in a whole nother state. She was in New York City and her probation, I think, was out of Florida. So Newport is small. It's small, guys. I'm telling you, Newport is small. And if Shannon does not watch her P's and Q's and she does not stay on the straight and narrow, it's going to get back to her probation officer and she's going to have problems. And she's going to have to be nice to people that she doesn't want to be nice to because people like Tamara are the kind of people that will call your probation officer and air out every bit of dirty laundry that you have. And next thing you know, that probation officer is going to be calling Shannon and telling her to come in and take a drug test for alcohol or whatever. Like, they can do that anytime they want. They can do a home check anytime they want, right? So I think Shannon has a really rough road ahead of her and she has no idea what that's going to be like. And I think it's going to be hard on her recovery and she's either going to make it or break it. Because if you're in recovery and you're in therapy and you're going to try to film and work with your co-worker as your ex who people said that he broke up with her like a year ago and that she has been following him since and that's why there were so many issues with filming last season and his kids didn't like her. And again, guys, God doing for you what you can't do for yourself. Okay. Like maybe he wasn't the one. Maybe Shannon has a really big rainbow ahead of her and she just has to kind of get through these next couple of years. Who knows? Right. But I don't know if Shannon can do it or not because Shannon has probably a lot of unresolved trauma and issues probably from her first marriage and from him cheating on her. And some people think he was cute. Did you guys think Shannon's first husband was good looking? I never thought of him. I always thought he reminded me of the Unabomber. I don't even know if I can say that on TV, but that's what he always reminded me of for whatever reason. He gave me a David Foster kind of vibe. Any of y'all remember David Foster from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Man, I saw a clip today. I think it was posted by, who was it posted by? Hello Wig, Hello Drama, Goodbye Wig or something. It was a clip from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and it was the Christmas that Yolanda was married to David Foster, and they all came to her home, and he had all of his Grammys. David Foster was a very, very uppity dear, very uppity. I don't know why he's with Yolanda. She was beautiful, down to earth, and humble, but he was very snubby snubberson, okay? And he had a piano, like a little baby grand piano, and he had all of his Grammys laid out on the piano, like 9 of them, 6 or 9 of them. And it was Christmas time, and he had brought in like people at that time. Those shows were really big. It was like American Idol, and whoever won American Idol, they were really big. I mean, you guys are gonna laugh, maybe some of you, but if you remember, American Idol stars were very big and very popular. And David Foster had brought in one of the winners, and they were going to sing. And he basically told that everyone else, "You're not allowed to sing. This is not a sing along. I'm playing the piano. I'm doing the singing. I'm bringing in the guy that's gonna play the flute or the horn or whatever, the saxophone, and y'all are gonna be quiet." And the ladies, oh, it was so funny. You go back and watch that scene. Taylor's like, we can't even sing along. Like what? We can't even sing along to the old Amazing Grace. Hilarious. And then there's a really funny clip if you want to laugh and you like Kelly Dodd, then you should check out a clip. I think it was TMZ that got her and him. It was like outside of Craig's. Here comes David Foster in his car, and I think it was TMZ. He's in the driver's seat. He said he slowed down. He has his foot on the brake. He stopped outside of Craig's, I think. And TMZ's talking. They got a camera on him. Yada yada yada. And here comes Kelly Dodd. It must have been coming. I think I swear to God, I had to been in front of Craig's. And she's coming along and she sees TMZ talking to David Foster. But David doesn't see her right away. And so she's like smiling and laughing and they're smiling back. And she walks over like she's about to give it into David Foster's car, like making a joke. The man does not get it. He does not think it's funny. He doesn't know who Kelly is. And his mood just went from like a medium to like a negative, like he was ready to, I don't know, like speed off and bomb the place. That like he was pissed at Kelly. Whatever. He was very, I don't know. I feel bad looking at Yolanda, looking back on that and what their life must have been together, because he seems like an asshole. I'm sorry. And I think he's went on to like marry a couple of different women a couple more times and have more children. There was actually some whispers about Yolanda possibly making somewhat of a return back to the Beverly Hills Housewives. I kind of wanted to know what your thoughts and opinions were on that. I always appreciated Yolanda. I think she lives on a beautiful horse farm in Pennsylvania. She's my neighbor. And she's very outdoorsy. She was very I don't even want to say earthy, because she wasn't. She liked fresh flowers and fresh fruit, and she loved horses, and she was definitely different from the other ladies, but in a good way. And it was a breath of fresh air. But I think that, I don't know what her financial situation is. I mean, I would think would have to be good. Her first husband, we know as Bella and Gigi Hadid, famous models. They're making their money. I'm sure they're giving her a cut, right? I don't know. I'm sure David Foster had to pay her pretty money in alimony for several years, but we still hear about her. Okay. There was an article not too long ago, maybe like a year ago, that was like pretty sketchy. And it was actually like Gigi Hadid's, is it her husband or her baby dad? I'm not quite sure which. But there had been a big old fallout, a big old fight because of Yolanda, and she had brought in like a spiritual healer, because he had anxiety, and it was sort of like a I don't want to say an intervention, but sort of an intervention. She kind of tricked him and sat him down. He was not happy, and it got leaked to the press, and there were a lot of issues between Yolanda and Gigi's child's father when they first had the baby. I'm sure that a lot of that's worked itself out by now. But when they first had the baby, Yolanda and baby daddy did not get along. And there was a lot of bad press that was being leaked about Yolanda, unfortunately. But I don't know. She's somebody that you guys would like to see again. Make sure you guys comment and let me know. I also want to tell you guys about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and just a couple of things that came through recently I wanted to mention quickly. Number one, I wanted to mention that when we see, if you guys saw um the leaked footage of Monica's mother, there was a fight between Monica and her mother. Somebody recorded it. Monica sent it to her best friend who leaked it, allegedly. Now, it's audio and video. It's clearly in Monica's home. It's clearly Monica's mom. Her and Monica are going back and forth at each other. And Monica says, well, you know what? Lori told me that I did amazing at Angie's Greek Easter. And Lori said that I was one of the best ones out of all of them at her Greek Easter. And her mom's like, I don't even know who Lori is. And she's like, you don't even know who Lori is. You should know who Lori is. Yeah. Well, allegedly, Lori is a big time producer on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Like one of the big wigs. Like not just a field producer, like a big executive producer. But word on the curb from the network resource, from my friend NYC Gal Out, her network resource, claiming that Laura is teetering on losing her job. So I don't know the details on that. I don't know what, but just getting word back that her job, the executive producer's job, is a little bit in danger here. And I just am kind of left wondering, like, what is going to happen? Because I think that Bravo being served that cease and desist might have put themselves into a little, well, maybe not. I shouldn't say Bravo. I should say production. I don't know if Bravo was sent the cease and desist as well, but we know that production was. And of course, it named Monica Garcia, and it named the 5 other people that were running the Reality Von Teese. Because, guys, what happened, Reality Von Teese is the one who released the footage of Jen going off on her designer, okay? If you guys remember, I've talked about this before, but when Jen, you guys have to go back and look for this footage. Jen was not being seen in a great light because she was dealing with these legal charges when this audio and video came out of her going off on her designer, Koa. I told you guys all about this. If you guys have been a follower or subscriber of mine, then you already know this. You're ahead of the game. And that video and audio was leaked because Monica husband had put in Jen Shah's security system into her home. And so Monica set it up in a way that she had access to the cameras inside Jen Shah's home. Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. Think about you call to get security cameras and security put into your home. You call a what you think contractor. I think he posted on something that was like Angie's List. Coach Shaw did. And it was Monica's husband who showed up, and Monica was with him. And she set it up to where she was able to access the cameras inside Jen Shah's house. When everything went down with Jen Shah and Koa allegedly probably went to Monica and said, this is what happened. This is the date and time that it happened. See if you can find it. That would blow all this up. Let's blow it up, right? Let's take her down. So allegedly, that's how the clip of Jen Shah yelling at her designer actually was leaked. It was leaked because it was released through Reality Von Teese. And here's the thing, Bravo can't say that to you guys. That's why when everyone's looking at each other and they're saying, wait, I've never heard of Reality Von Teese. I've never heard of them. I don't get it. I never heard of them. They were the website that released the footage of Jen Shah going off on her designer. And even though it doesn't sound like a big deal right now when we bring it up, when we talk about it, we have to understand that during that time, she was, getting arrested and dealing with a federal case. So the last thing that she needed was something making her look unstable or aggressive. That's not even the right word. Or like someone who's hard to work for, hard to get along for, uncompromised. Like she just didn't need the bad press, right? And so since it was illegally obtained, because guess what, guys? That's illegal ATF. That is illegal. Straight out, purely illegal. Would have been easy to prove. Jen Shaw probably, at this point, Jen Shaw probably wishes that they would have prosecuted Monica, or turned it into the police, or whatever their options were. They were fighting their own case at the time, so that I don't think that they were necessarily concerned about that. But they did send the cease and desist to Bravo, was that they couldn't use that footage, okay, because it was obtained illegally. So Bravo could not tell you guys that this Reality Von Teese website or blog is responsible for releasing the video and audio of Jen Shaw yelling and cussing out her designer, who, again, this was very powerful when it was posted. And since Bravo received a cease and desist from Jen and Coach Shaw because the video and audio of her was legally obtained, Bravo can't talk about it and they can't play it for you. You can't. I also sort of wonder about what the statute of limitations in Salt Lake City on a sort of crime like that would be, because I've often wondered to myself, it just doesn't make any sense that with Coach Shaw being an attorney, that he wouldn't know the legal repercussions of installing audio and surveillance in somebody's home illegally. And I kind of wonder if, like, they're waiting until Jen gets out. What if there's, I mean, I don't know what the statute of limitations on something like that would be in Salt Lake City. Like, probably I would say somewhere between like 6 and 10 years. That's pretty much the statute on everything. It's like between 6 and 10 years. So Jen Shaw got what, like 5.5 years in prison? I don't know. Is it 1 + 1 = 2? I could be completely out of my mind. I don't know. But rumors are that she's not coming back to Salt Lake City. I did see Whitney posted a photo with a new girl. Allegedly, this is going to be a new girl that Whitney's going to be bringing on as a friend of. Her name is Brittany. I can't remember where they posted from, but they were together having drinks, probably in filming, or just getting to know each other, or just getting to know each other and posting photos so that the network can sell it to us as if her and Whitney are good, dear friends. Could be that. But regardless, the word is that we're not going to be seeing Monica next season. I want to know how you guys feel about that. So make sure that you leave it in the comments, because I want to know an authentic perspective from you guys. You guys know I welcome everyone to my channel. I don't care if you're a Melissa fan or Teresa fan, as long as you're respectful to each other in the comments. But I want to know your guys' real thoughts on Monica, because when I go to Monica's page on Instagram, again, 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, because she tells us that everyone calls her terrible names. Social media has been so hard on her. It's been rough on her, especially with the whole affair. But when I went under her social media posts, and she had posted this video about, bringing her back to Salt Lake City Housewives, every single comment was a pro Monica. I love you, Monica. You're great. I'm only watching the show because of you comment. And I mean, every single one, when I scrolled all the way down. And typically bots, which are not real people, they're fake accounts that they're like computerized, and they're just made to comment or follow and like certain people. And I just think that bots are really easy to tell, usually because they have accounts that aren't like legitimate. So it's like just a username that's like all letters and numbers, and there's no photo, or there's only 2 followers, whatever the case may be, right? And so they're pretty easy to pick out most of the time. But obviously, the more money you have, the better bots that you can buy. And it just has me wondering, if you worked for Jen, if you know people in the social media or in the media market at all, and she's able to purchase or make it as so that all of the comments, literally every single comment, is pro Monica. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way that everyone on here that's commenting is pro Monica. And the post was like 10 hours old. So if she was deleting comments, she really had to be on it, in and out of there, deleting, any bad press, any bad comments. But it really seemed to me like it was more of a post for Bravo to see, and she was really amping up the comments. Either she has extra accounts, other people have extra accounts, whatever it is. Every single, like, I'm like a person that's like, I don't believe in coincidences very often. And I also, the probability, I'm like, what is the probability? right? Like, what is the probability that 300 comments all want you to come back to Salt Lake City? That doesn't sound right to me. I'm just saying it doesn't. So that's my thoughts, but I want to know what your thoughts are, guys. So make sure that you put in the comments. Do you want to see Mountain come back on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? And then I also want to know, guys, if you're going to be watching the Real Housewives of New Jersey this season. And then what else do I? Oh, we haven't really talked much about Miami, and I feel really bad about that. And I don't know if you guys are watching Miami or not because it has such a shitty time spot. So make sure you guys comment. Let me know your thoughts on those. Hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys all for the good vibes, the good energy that you're sending me. I appreciate it more than you even know. Like, I'm so thankful for you guys. And I appreciate all of your guys' love and support, especially because you guys know I've been like struggling. I was like telling people yesterday, I'm like, I'll tell my subscribers. If y'all don't be nice to me, I'm going to get online and tell my subscribers about you. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate your prayers a lot. I have a cute little video I'm going to post for you guys in the shorts because it snowed yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? And I had the baby out in the snow, and you can't really see her face that good, so I thought it would be a good video to post so you guys can see my daughter a little bit better. And it snowed like, I don't know, a couple of inches, so we were outside playing in it. So I'm going to post that for you guys. But again, I have more Real Housewives content coming, and if you are a TikToker, then you should check me out on HW Historian too. Bye, guys.